up, guys? Maxmov here. Welcome to a brand new series in City Skylines, something that I am really excited about. Obviously, we are in a new series, is not La Costa. The reason for that being that I'm using a new PC, completely new setup, and it would have been a pain to transfer over the save games, and I honestly wasn't really happy with it. I think that still my skills weren't as good when I started that series, and so it was kind of building on top of a bad base, and I just wasn't feeling it. But with the new PC, obviously it is a much better upgrade than my old one, so I am actually able to put in tons more mods. I get way better performance, it handles everything better, so this is going to be a bigger, better, and more detailed build than La Costa. This is Wood River Basin, as you saw in the title, and basically it's set in the Northwest in the United States, specifically Idaho. That's where I live. It's just something I wanted to do, you know, something that I'm familiar with. But anyway, we'll go ahead, hop over to the sky view where I've mapped things out with districts. It is a fairly mountainous area. There is a valley with the river cutting through, as you can see. There's going to be a big downtown area, as well as some residential and commercial that sprawls out from the downtown, but there's also going to be farms, forestry, mountainous areas, and a couple little resorts and sort of forest getaways. I want to kind of encompass everything that Idaho has to offer in this build, and I'm honestly just really excited. Jumping back into the game, we're working on road layouts and a little bit of setup for parts of the map. In this video, there's no building or detailing, anything like that, just slight terrain work, some roads, and setting up the groundwork for things to come. So right here, this is actually going to be part of the residential area, the historic residential, similar to like Hyde Park and the north end of Boise, Idaho. Throw up some images there from Google Earth of what's going on. But basically, it's one of the older sections of the town, a lot of really cool buildings on a grid, and it's really interesting seeing the city because at least in Boise, obviously it's an older place, it's a grid, and it seems like the rest of the city just kind of had to deal with it and build around it. Obviously they couldn't do a whole lot, so I kind of made it look like the grid was there, and then tried to form the rest of the city around it, which obviously it looks pretty good. I want to have a ton of trees. Boise is kind of an Americanized version of the French word or phrase "le bois," which is like loosely translated to like the trees. It's called the City of Trees. Don't quote me on that, on the translations or anything, but as far as I know, that's what it is. Obviously, Boise is known as the City of Trees. It's got tons of greenery in it. So setting up some of the main roadways in the downtown, I think that the downtown is going to be the first thing I work on, that and the airport industrial. There's going to be like lots of little pockets of things. It's not going to be like one main industrial zone, one main commercial zone, because I want to make this as realistic as possible. So the downtown is really going to be the heart of the map, the center of things, and then sprawling out from basically the center of that, if it's the heart, you know, there's going to be industrial areas, little pockets of commercial, and then some, just basically depending on the simulated economy of the areas, that'll obviously depend on how big and how bustling things can be. So near the downtown, there's going to be like the airport that's going to be on the other side of the river, and we work on that a little bit later on. We start laying the groundwork for that. And in Boise, the airport has basically the airport, it has the services around it, and then it's got a couple of hotels and commercial and some slight industrial around the side. That's what we're going to try to replicate here. So I'm really excited for this, but this is just a little bridge that we're working on based off of Broadway Avenue in Boise. Also, these rocks are seriously the bane of my existence. They, for some reason, are super hard to like find the placers to get them with either Move It or the bulldozer. And so I'm just trying to go around, make sure that all of these things are gone. Also, the map by default has a bunch of these little like grass. They're not sprites because I have the sprite disabler, but they're actual like plant props put around. By the way, speaking of props or plants or rocks, speaking of anything I was just saying, if you're interested at all in the mods and assets used in this build or that will be used in this build, feel free to check the description of the video. I have a handful of Steam collections and they're all for workshop files. I have one for mods, I have one for assets, one for vehicles that are driving around the map. That's another thing. I have advanced vehicle options, so we actually have the vehicles that we want that are American style driving around, so we don't have any of that default mess, the vanilla cars. But anyway, I have a vehicle mods list and I have a plant and greenery mods list as well, so you can check any of that out down in the description below. It links to my workshop page with the files there. So what we're doing here, I'm still playing around with roads and trying to get a feel of what feels right. I'm trying to create roads that naturally move along the river, because in Boise, a lot of the river it has obviously the green belt, which is another thing we'll eventually do, and it's a footpath and a bike path, basically meant for pedestrians and non-motorized traffic. A little path that goes for the majority of the river on both sides in downtown Boise. So there's that, and then on the other side of that are businesses and stuff like that. So we'll try to work on that. But we jumped over here to another portion of the map, and this is where the airport will eventually be. But as I was saying, in Boise in real life, it has lots of little commercial and mild industrial around here, so this area is what I'm going to work on and start as the first location for industrial and commercial. We won't be working on the airport quite yet. I want to get the city up and running before we start doing any of the additional stuff, but basically we have the highway running along here, and there's a overpass. It's a little closer to the river in the game than in actual real life, but as I said, this is Wood River Basin, not a recreation of Boise. It's just inspired by the Idaho area, and so I'm gonna have this snaking little road around, and that's gonna give access to commercial zones, buildings, stuff like that, and eventually another road that we have coming off the overpass is kind of a weird like 5-way interchange, or I can't think of the word, crossing, I guess, you know. It's like a 5-way intersection there. However, 2 of those will be one-ways going to the loop of the airport. But we'll work on that, as I said, later once we get to the airport. You can kind of see there the proximity of this industrial area to the downtown. And if you do see those words there as we move around, those are just the districts that I've mapped out. As I said, I want to do as good of a job as I possibly can with this project, and so I am mapping out and planning everything using districts, which is a really easy way to do things, honestly. Now here, obviously, we need access to the other side of the railroad tracks, where a lot of the bigger industrial is going to be, and in the next video, we actually work on power and water, so getting some of the major utilities to the Wood River Basin area. But we need access there, so I'm building a cool little underpass for the trains, which I really like. I think it turned out pretty good. I also found this super cool bridge, just dropping it into place, lining it up, making sure it looks all nice and copacetic, and then we'll work on some more of the roads. By the way, this is a neat trick to force the railroad type to what you want. Basically make intersections, and then you can do what you want there. But bringing the elevation down and making sure that terrain looks good is really important, and then painting it in, because the Boise area is a weird mix of green, where it's really built up, and then almost like a high desert, really dry, sandy, and like not a whole lot of water. Basically, it is a high desert in some parts, and so I'm using the ground painting to kind of incorporate that in, and then later, once we get into actual detailing, that's when we will put in some of the plant life and make it look a lot better. But basically, I'll just paint it in as I work and as I go. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time painting the entire map, but doing these big sweeping roads, which I think look pretty cool. And as I said, in episode 2, we will work on actually populating it with some utilities. And by the way, Wood River Basin is not the name of the town, that's the name of the area. And so I'm open to suggestions for town names. Obviously, we'll need a name for the downtown, probably something for some of the mountain towns, some of the resort, the getaways, the farm towns, anything. If you have name suggestions or any suggestions at all, drop a comment down below. Speaking of comments, this is when I usually do my YouTube spiel, because we're getting towards the end of the video. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like on the video. It helps shows your support, and it does bring new people to the channel. Of course, if you are new here, please be sure to subscribe so you never miss out on any more of my videos. I am seriously super excited to be working on this project. I hope you guys are excited to see what the future of Wood River Basin is, because I have a lot of motivation to work on this, and I've already recorded a lot, so we're definitely going to be bringing more of this content out there. Anyway, my name is Maxmov. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. See you guys later.